Number 20, 1970 Buick Riviera. The 1970 Buick Riviera marked a turning point for this luxury coupe, but not necessarily in a good way. While its predecessor was praised for its sleek lines and elegant proportions, the 1970 model featured a more bulbous and exaggerated design. The oversized chrome grille, flanked by massive vertical headlights, dominated the front fascia, giving it a gaudy and over-the-top appearance. The rear end, with its sloped deck and oddly shaped taillights, added to the disjointed aesthetic. Under the hood, the Riviera was powered by a 455 cubic inch V8 engine, producing up to 370 horsepower, a powerhouse for its time. However, its styling overshadowed its performance. Critics and buyers alike were put off by its heavy-handed design, and it struggled to maintain the reputation of earlier models. The Riviera's design seemed to prioritize flamboyance over cohesion, making it a poster child for the excesses of the era. While some enthusiasts appreciate its boldness today, it remains a polarizing figure in the annals of 1970s automotive design. Number 19, 1970 AMC Gremlin. The AMC Gremlin, introduced as a quirky compact car, is often remembered for its unusual proportions and awkward styling. Its stubby rear end, which was essentially a truncated hatchback, gave the car an unfinished look. The abrupt end contrasted sharply with its elongated hood, making the design feel imbalanced and unrefined. Underneath its odd exterior, the Gremlin offered a 3.8-liter inline-six engine, producing 128 horsepower, respectable for its size. However, its utilitarian interior, with minimal styling and basic materials, failed to win over customers seeking sophistication. The Gremlin's bizarre appearance wasn't entirely accidental. It was AMC's attempt to create a small car quickly and cheaply. While it did find a niche audience, many considered it an eyesore, and it remains one of the most infamous designs of the 1970s. Number 18, 1970 Marcos Mantis. The Marcos Mantis was an experimental sports car that turned heads, but not always in a good way. Its angular, wedge-like design, with an elongated front end and protruding fenders, looked more like a rejected spaceship prototype than a stylish sports car. The overly complex shapes and exaggerated lines gave it an awkward, almost cartoonish appearance. The Mantis was powered by a Triumph-sourced 2.5-liter straight-six engine, delivering a modest 146 horsepower. Despite its low weight, the performance couldn't compensate for its oddball aesthetics. Marketed as an innovative sports car, the Mantis failed to resonate with buyers. Its unconventional looks and lackluster sales led to its discontinuation after just 1 year, cementing its place as one of the decade's most misguided designs. Number 17, 1972 Bond Bug. The Bond Bug is often remembered for its three-wheel design and bright orange body, which looked more like a toy than a car. Its wedge-shaped profile, combined with its narrow rear end and bubble-like canopy, gave it an almost comical appearance. While it was marketed as a fun, futuristic microcar, many found its design too quirky for practical use. Powered by a 0.7-liter engine with just 29 horsepower, the Bond Bug wasn't winning any races. Its top speed of around 76 miles per hour was adequate for a city car, but its unstable three-wheel layout made handling questionable. While some admired the Bug's playful charm, most saw it as a novelty item rather than a serious automobile. Its odd proportions and impracticality have made it a cult favorite among enthusiasts, but a clear contender for one of the ugliest cars of the 1970s. Number 16, 1972 Lombardi Grand Prix. The Lombardi Grand Prix was an Italian sports coupe that aimed to capture the excitement of a performance car, but fell short due to its awkward design. Its overly compact dimensions, paired with its sloping front and rear ends, made it look more like a toy car than a serious contender. The bulbous roofline and cramped proportions further detracted from its appeal. Under the hood, the Grand Prix featured a 903 cubic centimeter engine producing a modest 52 horsepower. While lightweight and nimble, its performance was underwhelming compared to the more refined sports cars of its era. The Grand Prix design seemed at odds with its ambitions, resulting in a car that was neither practical nor particularly desirable. It remains a curious footnote in automotive history, remembered more for its strange looks than its driving experience. Number 15. 1973. Reliant Robin. The 1973 Reliant Robin is perhaps one of the most ridiculed cars in automotive history, largely due to its peculiar three-wheel design. While the concept of a lightweight, fuel-efficient car was appealing, its triangular stance made it notoriously unstable. The Robin's tendency to tip over during sharp turns became a running joke among car enthusiasts and media. Its design didn't help matters. The bulbous front end, complete with tiny wheels and a flat rear hatch, lacked any aesthetic charm. The plastic-bodied Robin looked cheap and uninspired, with design priorities clearly focused on cost-cutting rather than style. Under the hood, the Robin featured a 748 cubic centimeter engine, producing a mere 32 horsepower. Despite its low power, it could reach a top speed of 85 miles per hour, though few drivers would dare to push it that far. While the Robin gained a cult following for its quirks, it remains an infamous example of function over form gone awry. Number 14. 1973. Leland P76. The Leland P76 was designed to be a groundbreaking large sedan for the Australian market, but ended up being remembered for its odd proportions and lackluster execution. Its oversized body, combined with an awkwardly narrow track, gave it a top-heavy and ungainly appearance. The sloping front grille and oddly placed headlights only added to its visual confusion. Underneath the hood, the P76 offered a 4.4-liter V8 engine, which was one of its few redeeming features. While the car delivered decent performance, it was plagued by production issues and quality control problems, tarnishing its reputation. The P76's unattractive design and unreliable mechanics made it a commercial failure. Despite its potential, it has become a symbol of missed opportunities in automotive history. Number 13. 1974. AMC Matador Coupe. The AMC Matador Coupe of 1974 is often cited as one of the most baffling designs of the decade. AMC tried to give the car a bold, modern look, but the result was a bloated, awkwardly proportioned coupe. Its oversized front grille and bulging fenders created a disjointed appearance, while the sloped roofline clashed with the car's otherwise boxy profile. Powered by a 5.9-liter V8 engine producing 220 horsepower, the Matador Coupe had adequate performance for its size. However, its styling was so polarizing that it became a target for ridicule, even earning the nickname Flying Brick among critics. Despite its bold attempt to stand out, the Matador Coupe's unconventional looks alienated many buyers, and it remains a divisive figure in automotive design history. Number 12. 1974. Vandenplas 1500. The Vandenplas 1500 attempted to bring luxury to a compact car, but its execution left much to be desired. Essentially a rebadged version of the Aston Allegro, the car featured a grille that was far too large for its small frame, giving it an unbalanced and almost comical appearance. The vinyl roof and faux wood interior trim only added to its pretentious yet unconvincing aesthetic. Under the hood, the 1500 came with a 1.5-liter inline-4 engine, offering a modest 70 horsepower. While it was reasonably comfortable for its size, its poor build quality and lackluster performance overshadowed any luxury aspirations. The Vandenplas 1500's misguided attempt to blend luxury with economy made it an object of derision. Its unattractive design and underwhelming features secured its place among the most unloved cars of the 1970s. Number 11. 1975 Dodge Charger. The 1975 Dodge Charger was a far cry from its iconic predecessors. As the muscle car era waned, Dodge shifted the Charger into the realm of personal luxury coupes, resulting in a bloated and uninspired design. Its elongated hood, slab-sided body, and oversized bumpers gave it a heavy, uninspiring look that lacked the aggression of earlier models. Powered by a 5.2-liter V8 engine producing 150 horsepower, the 1975 Charger was no longer the high-performance machine it once was. Strangled by emissions regulations and rising fuel prices, its performance was underwhelming for its size and heritage. The Charger's transformation from a bold muscle car to a lackluster luxury coupe alienated enthusiasts and tarnished its reputation. While later models would redeem the name, the 1975 Charger remains a low point in the car's storied history. Number 10. 1975 Bricklin SV1. The 1975 Bricklin SV1 was intended to be a revolutionary sports car with a focus on safety, but its design fell flat. The gull-wing doors, while futuristic in concept, were clunky and difficult to operate. The car's oversized front bumper and blocky bodywork gave it an awkward, unfinished look. Its fiberglass body panels often exhibited poor fitment, adding to its unattractive appearance. Under the hood, the SV1 came equipped with a 5.9-liter AMC V8 engine producing 220 horsepower, giving it decent performance for the time. However, the car was plagued by reliability issues, and its heavy construction compromised handling and agility. Despite its noble goal of prioritizing safety, hence the name SV1, or Safety Vehicle 1, the Bricklin's odd design choices and lack of refinement made it a commercial failure. Today, it stands as a cautionary tale of ambitious yet poorly executed automotive projects. Number 9. 1975 British Leyland Princess. The British Leyland Princess, released in 1975, is often criticized for its unconventional wedge-shaped design. While it was meant to appear modern and aerodynamic, the exaggerated sloping hood and rear gave it a lopsided, almost cartoonish appearance. The lack of a front grille made the car look incomplete, and its awkward proportions earned it ridicule. The Princess was powered by a range of engines, with the largest being a 2.2-liter inline-six producing a modest 110 horsepower. Despite being marketed as a premium family car, it suffered from numerous reliability and build quality issues, further tarnishing its reputation. While the Princess aimed to innovate, its odd styling and disappointing engineering left it unloved by both critics and consumers. It remains an example of British Leyland's struggles during the 1970s. Number 8. 1975 AMC Pacer. The 1975 AMC Pacer is often remembered as one of the most unusual-looking cars of all time. Nicknamed the Fishbowl due to its massive wraparound windows, the Pacer's design was meant to maximize interior space, but the result was a bulbous, unbalanced exterior. Its wide stance and short length made it look awkward from every angle. Powered by a 3.8-liter inline-six engine producing 90 horsepower, the Pacer was underpowered for its weight and struggled to deliver a satisfying driving experience. While it was innovative in terms of interior space, the odd design alienated potential buyers. Though it has since gained a cult following for its quirky looks, the AMC Pacer was widely ridiculed upon release, cementing its place as one of the strangest cars of the 1970s. Number 7. 1976 Aston Martin Laganda. The 1976 Aston Martin Laganda was an attempt to create a futuristic luxury sedan, but its overly angular design and sharp lines made it one of the most polarizing cars of the decade. The flat, wedge-shaped body lacked elegance, while the long, low hood made the car appear stretched and awkward. Under the hood, the Laganda featured a 5.3-liter V8 engine producing 280 horsepower, offering impressive performance for a sedan. However, its advanced technology, including a digital dashboard, was notoriously unreliable, and its hefty price tag put it out of reach for many buyers. Despite its bold ambition, the Laganda's odd aesthetics and poor reliability overshadowed its innovations. It remains a divisive car, admired for its daring approach but criticized for its flawed execution. Number 6. 1977 Datsun 200SX. The 1977 Datsun 200SX tried to capitalize on the growing popularity of compact coupes, but its boxy, uninspired design failed to make an impression. The square headlights, flat body panels, and awkwardly sloped roofline gave it a dull and outdated look, even when it was new. Powered by a 2.0-liter inline-4 engine producing 97 horsepower, the 200SX offered modest performance that failed to excite enthusiasts. While it was reliable and fuel-efficient, it lacked the charisma and style of its competitors. The Datsun 200SX's bland styling and underwhelming performance made it forgettable in the crowded market of the late 1970s. It remains an example of practicality overshadowing personality in automotive design. Number 5. 1977 Volvo 262C. The 1977 Volvo 262C was Volvo's attempt at creating a luxury coupe, but its design was anything but luxurious. The 262C featured a boxy, angular body with a drastically lowered roofline that gave it an awkward, squashed appearance. The vinyl-covered roof added a dated and cheap aesthetic to an already unflattering silhouette. Under the hood, the 262C was powered by a 2.7-liter PRV V6 engine producing 140 horsepower. While it offered a smooth ride and decent performance for a luxury car, its styling left much to be desired. Volvo partnered with Bertone for the design, but the execution failed to capture the elegance expected from a high-end coupe. Instead, the 262C became a quirky and polarizing vehicle, remembered more for its odd appearance than its engineering. Number 4. 1977 Lata Cabalero. The Lata Cabalero was a bizarre microcar designed for niche appeal, but its overly simplistic and toy-like design ensured it would be remembered as one of the strangest cars of the 1970s. The tiny proportions, large round headlights, and awkwardly high stance made the Caballero look more like a golf cart than a proper car. Powered by a modest 1.6-liter inline-4 engine producing just 80 horsepower, the Caballero lacked both speed and practicality. It was targeted at urban drivers looking for something unique, but its oddball design alienated most buyers. Only a small number of these cars were ever produced, and they were quickly forgotten. The Lata Cabalero remains a curious footnote in automotive history, notable only for its eccentricity. Number 3. 1972 Subaru GL Coupe. The 1972 Subaru GL Coupe stands out as one of Subaru's early attempts to establish itself internationally, but not for the reasons the company might have hoped. Its design was quirky, to say the least. With its boxy shape, tall roofline, and mismatched round headlights set against a sharp grille, the car looked more functional than fashionable. In an era where sleek and sporty coupes were gaining popularity, the GL Coupe's utilitarian aesthetic fell short of expectations. Number 2. 1978 Oldsmobile Omega Coupe. The 1978 Oldsmobile Omega Coupe was part of General Motors' compact X-body lineup, but its design failed to stand out. The Omega's flat, uninspired body panels, oversized front grille, and generic styling made it look bland and dated even when new. The two-door coupe version only emphasized the car's awkward proportions. Under the hood, the Omega came with a variety of engine options, including a 4.3-liter V6 producing 110 horsepower. While reliable, the car lacked the excitement and innovation buyers expected in the late 1970s. The Omega Coupe was overshadowed by its more stylish and competitive rivals. Its forgettable design and lack of personality have earned it a spot on lists of the most disappointing cars of the decade. Number 1. 1978 Buick Century. Topping the list is the 1978 Buick Century, a car whose bloated and uninspired design embodied the worst trends of 1970s automotive styling. The elongated front end, awkwardly squared-off roofline, and excessive chrome accents made the Century look clumsy and outdated. The 1978 Century offered a range of engines, with the largest being a 5.7-liter V8, producing 160 horsepower. Despite its decent performance for the time, the car's heavy weight and poor handling detracted from its appeal. The Buick Century was marketed as a premium vehicle, but its unattractive design and lack of innovation failed to attract buyers. It remains a symbol of the excesses of 1970s American car design, earning its place as one of the ugliest cars of the era.